Just finished watching Blowup, filmed by Michelangelo Antonioni, which is a name I'd heard before but had never actually seen any of his films. And this was a weird one. This movie just screams 1960s. It follows a fashion photographer who's also working on his photography book, and you really see it in the fashion photography. It's like, I thought the Austin Powers movies were like a parody of that, and they tone it down. It is legit that crazy. I was not around in the 60s, clearly, and I had no idea that the fashion scene in London was really like that. But anyway, this follows a photographer, and he's looking for a shot to finish off his book, and he takes a shot of a couple in a park. And the woman comes and asks for the photographs, and she doesn't want him to see them, and he gives her a fake roll and sends her on her way. And then he starts developing the photographs, and he sees a gunman in the bushes in the back, and he sees a corpse. And he goes back later that night, and he sees the corpse there, and he's like, oh, I took pictures of a murder. And then he goes back the next day to take a picture of the corpse, and the corpse is gone. And that's pretty much the whole movie. That's all that really happens. There's a lot of other scenes, but I don't know how to feel about it. I really didn't like the protagonist at all, because he just seems like a douche. He was just a total douchebag, and he was really rapey at times, and it's considered like the scene of the movie. Maybe not the scene, but it's like a major scene in this movie that he fools around with these two girls, but the whole time I felt really uncomfortable because they looked really uncomfortable. And he didn't sit right with me. But yeah, there's two other scenes I really want to talk about on this one. First one is the end. He runs into a group of college students, and they're playing tennis, but they don't have rackets or balls. They're just miming it, and he joins in the mimery when the ball goes over the fence, and he throws it back. And then when you throw it back, the camera stays on his face, but you hear the sounds of a tennis ball hitting a tennis racket in the background. And it kind of like brings up, did he really see a body? Did his camera really see a body? Like, what is real? Is what he's seeing real, or is what his camera seeing real? It kind of ties the whole movie together, that last bit, because the whole time I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't really care until that last scene, and then it all kind of clicked. So really like that. The other scene I really liked, and it felt like it had nothing to do with the rest of the plot. He goes into a nightclub. He's looking for the woman because he thinks that she robbed him, I believe. Nothing's really explicitly stated either, but anyway, he goes into a nightclub and the Yardbirds are playing, and no one in the nightclub is even moving. They're just standing and staring straight ahead, except for a couple in the back is dancing, but everyone in the crowd is just staring. And the guitarist, I believe it was Jeff Beck, he's pissed because his amp's not working. He breaks his guitar and he throws the neck of his guitar into the crowd, and they're just ravenous, and they jump on this guitar neck. And the photographer, I don't even know if his name is, I think I read it's Thomas, but I'm not sure his name is ever stated in the film either. No one's name is. But he gets away with the neck of the guitar, and he leaves it, and he's got the souvenir, and he gets out in the street and he looks at it and realizes, this doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Like, now that I'm out of this nightclub, this means nothing. He throws it on the ground, and someone that was standing on the street looks at it, picks it up. Oh, neat. He throws it back on the ground as well. And it spoke to me. It's like, what's important to one person in one situation isn't necessarily important to everyone. I think that's another big theme going out through the movie, the more I think about it, because he tries to find joy in, like, free 1960s sex and in that culture, and doesn't really, but the only time you really see him happy is when he's in his dark room and he's enhancing and blowing up these, I just got the title. He's blowing up these photographs that he took, and that's the only time you really see him happy. So it's like not chasing after things that you don't really want but other people want, if that makes sense. I don't know, that's something that I have come to realize growing up, because I've wanted to be an actor for most of my life, and it wasn't until like I finished off college and moved to LA that I realized like not everybody had the same dreams as me as a kid. Because I knew a lot of really good actors in high school and college, and they aren't doing it anymore. And they're doing other things. And you know what? That's, like, part of me used to think, oh, that's such a shame. They were such a talent. Like, why aren't they still on a stage somewhere or on a screen somewhere? But now I realize, like, that's not what they want to do with their lives, and they're happy with what they're doing. And it's kind of like letting go of what could be, I guess, in other people's lives, at least. So yeah, I mean, like, movie as a whole, it has a couple good scenes. I don't know if I want to watch it again. It was really 60s. It was really, really 60s. Like, a lot of 60s. So like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comments below. Suggest a movie for me to watch tomorrow. I think I'm looking at Body Heat, which coincidentally is the first movie I didn't watch last year when I tried watching a movie every day. So it's like a milestone tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Until then.